Hello students, welcome to this lecture. This is lecture number 13 in this series. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about partial safety factor and design values. The limited philosophy acknowledges that there can be variation in both loads as well as material strength. So we know that there is a wide possibility in the variation of loads which we are going to consider during the design process and which are going to actually applied on the structures after the construction of those structures. And at the same time, there will be possibilities of variation in the material strength. The material strength, what we have considered for the design purpose, may be different, and the final strength, what we obtain on site, that strength may be different. Because of lot of uncertainties, this may happen. Just like while concreting, it is assumed that the compressive strength of that concrete is as per the mixed design. But during the construction or during the mixing on site, there may be possibilities of some kind of defects may happen during the mixing by the workers who are going to mix that particular concrete on the site. Or there may be possibilities of variation in the materials proportion. If we take due care, even then also there may be possibilities of some kind of effects like environmental effects, just like there may be variation in the temperature. Due to that temperature, there may be possibilities of loss of water due to evaporation. A lot of uncertainties are there. So due to that, this uncertainties, there may be variation in the strength what we have considered during the design and what we get actually on the site. So by considering all these factors, the safety of structure depends on each of the two principal design factors, that is load and the material strength, which are not functions of each other. Means these two factors are not dependent on each other. Hence, the two different safety factors, one for the load and one for the material strength, are suggested. Because of these two safety factors contribute partially to the safety, they are termed as a partial safety factors. By considering the importance of safety in any structure, civil engineering structure, and uncertainties involved in the analysis, design, construction practices, and material qualities, appropriate factor of safety in the design is required. Just in previous slide, I have told you that there are possibilities of change in the variation of the loads, change in the or the variations in the strength what we have considered during the design and during the actual construction. We have to use or we have to adopt or there is a need to adopt some partial safety factors or some factor of safeties during the design. Hence, the design load and the design strength of material is not the same as characteristic load and the characteristic strength. This characteristic strength and characteristic loads we have discussed in previous lectures. So those are not the design values. Design values are to be calculated or are to be adopted based on this concept of partial safety factor. Hence, the IS code specifies separate partial safety factors for the loads and for the material strength. Now, let us discuss partial safety factors for load. IS 456 specifies the partial safety factors in clause number 36.3.2. So according to this clause, the partial safety factor for the load is defined as gamma f, and which is equals to Fd divided by Fk. Well, this gamma f is the partial safety factor, Fd is the design load, and Fk is the characteristic load. So we'll be able to get the partial safety factor by knowing the design load and the characteristic load. But actually in practice, these partial safety factors have been prescribed by the IS code. Hence, based on these values, normally we are calculating the design loads that we'll discuss afterwards. This value of gamma f, that is partial safety factor for load, is specified in table number 18 of IS 456/2000. So you can see here table number 18, which prescribes the values of partial safety factors for the loads. So if you see here, they have mentioned that different partial safety factors for different load combinations, and for the two limit states, that is limit state of collapse and limit state of serviceability, which we have seen in previous lectures. So for the first load combination, that is for the dead load and imposed load, the partial safety factor what we have to adopt for dead load as well as for the imposed load or for the live load is 1.5. And for 1.5 for the limit state of collapse, and for the limit state of serviceability, this partial safety factor is to be adopted as 1 for dead load, for imposed load. For the load combination of dead load plus wind load, the partial safety factor what we have to adopt is 1.5 or 0.9 for the dead load and 1.5 for the wind load. In the dead load, this value what they have specified here, that 1.5 or 0.9. So in normal cases, we have to take this value as 1.5, but as prescribed here, one condition is given that the 0.9 value is to be used or is to be considered when stability against overturning or stress reversal is critical. When stability against overturning or stress reversal is critical. It means that whenever due to the application of wind load, if conditions exerts like there may be possibilities of overturning of the structure, or there may be possibilities of reversal of stresses. In that case, you have to take the value of dead load as 0.9, or that is partial safety factor for the dead load is to be considered as 0.9. And in all other cases, or in general cases, that value should be taken as 1.5 for the dead load, 1.5 for the wind load, and for the limit state of serviceability, it is to be taken as 1. Then the third case, load combination is given, dead load plus imposed load plus wind load. When these three cases are to be considered, that three loads are to be considered, then the partial safety factor for the limit state of collapse shall be taken as 1.5. It means that you have to multiply this total bracket with 1.2 for limit state of collapse. And for limit state of serviceability, we have to take this value as dead load, partial safety factor for the load for limit state of serviceability for dead load is to be taken as 1, and for both imposed load and wind load it is to be taken as 0.8. Okay, so this table we have to use while selecting the partial safety factor for the loads in different limit states of collapse and limit state of serviceability and for the combinations. Now let us discuss partial safety factor for material strength. So as I told you in previous slides that there may be possibilities of variation in the material strength. That's why the partial safety factor for the material strength is to be adopted. So as per clause number 36.4.2 of IS 456/2000, the partial safety factor gamma m for the material strength have been provided. When assessing the strength of a structure or structural member for the limit state of collapse, the value of partial safety factor gamma m should be taken as 1.5 for concrete and 1.15 for the steel. Because these two metals are different, they are behaving differently, so that's why two different partial safety factors for each metal is to be adopted. So remember these points that the partial safety factor for the metal strength for concrete is 1.5 and for steel it is 1.15. In this clause they have again mentioned one note that the effect of this value gamma m is already incorporated in the equations and the tables given in this standard for the limit state design. Now how they have incorporated this effect of gamma m that we'll discuss during the remaining part of the course. In this clause, one more sub-clause is there, that is 36.4.2. So according to this clause, when assessing the deflection, the material properties such as modulus of elasticity should be taken as those associated with the characteristic strength of the material. Just like for the modulus of elasticity of concrete and for the modulus of elasticity of steel, some formulas have been provided in the IS 456. So you have to find out these equations for the modulus of elasticity of concrete and modulus of elasticity of steel in IS 456 and you have to mention the answers in the quiz. Now let us move towards the design values. So in the design values, first we discuss the design loads. So as I told you previously also that the design load can be calculated by using the relation of partial safety factors and the characteristic loads. Okay, so as per clause number 36.3 of IS 456, the design values have been given. So design values for the loads we are going to discuss as per clause number 36.3.2 first. So the design load FD is given by FP is equals to Fk into gamma f, where Fd is the design load, Fk is the characteristic load, and gamma f is the partial safety factor for the load, as we have discussed just a while ago. So these partial safety factors shall be taken appropriately as per the conditions or as per the load combinations and as per the limit states what we are going to consider. The design load obtained by multiplying the characteristic load by the partial safety factor for the load is also known as factored load. So whatever this load what we are obtaining, this value is also termed as the factored load because we are multiplying the characteristic load with factor of safety. So that's why is whatever load we are going to obtain, that load is also termed as the factored load, or it is also sometimes referred as the design load, ultimate load. Now we will discuss the design strength of the materials. Now, as you can see in the previous slide, we have calculated the design load by multiplying the characteristic load with partial safety factor for the load. It means that while performing the design, we have considered the additional load than the characteristic load. This is performed specifically because to achieve the safety and serviceability also. That here we are taking the additional load for the design purpose. It means that you are going to design the members, or you are going to design the structure for the loads, or for the additional loads which are not going to take place actually. Actually, the loads which are going to applied on the structures are the characteristic loads only, because we have seen the concept of characteristic loads. If you want to remember, or if you want to remind or rewind the concept, you may find the link of that lecture here. You can go through that. So as the characteristic load is not going to exceed throughout the lifetime of that structure, even though we are considering the additional load for the design purpose. It is only to achieve more safety in collapse and the serviceability. Okay, but in case of members, or in case of strength of materials, we are calculating the design strengths FD, small fd, as given. Small fd will be equals to Fk upon gamma m, where Fd is the design strength, Fk is the characteristic strength, and gamma m is the partial safety factor for the material strength as per the limit states. So here we are dividing the characteristic strength by partial safety factors for the material. Now you can clearly understand that here, by dividing the partial safety factor, we are getting the less design strength than the characteristic strength. That is, the design strength will be less than the characteristic strength. And that much strength we are considering here. It means that you are designing for the smaller amount of strength as compared to the actual strength. So, by considering this effect, what we are doing, that we are assuming that the design strength of material is less, and for that less strength we are designing, so which gives more safety and more serviceability. So in this two concept, that is design load and design strength, the design load is to be considered more than the actual load or the characteristic load, and the strength of material is to be considered less than the actual strength or the characteristic strength. So this difference you have to consider, and you have to remember all the times when you are going to design. Thank you. If you like this lecture, then please click on the like button, and also share the link of lecture with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.